Welcome back, everyone. It's Fiona here from fionamarks.com. And this is the third in a series that we're exploring at the moment the different approaches, the different paradigms that are underpinning life coaching and that are underpinning Vedic astrology. And in the first two videos, we've been exploring the teasing out these differences and looking at really that in life coaching, we use uh, discomfort and pain as indicators for making change. And as coaches, we work with people to help them make change so that they experience less suffering. And that in astrology, there is the invitation to accept one's experience, that one is experiencing weather or climate or seasons, and that there's nothing particularly wrong with that. It's just a reality of experience. So by staying still, breathing, and being truly in the moment, we experience that karma and the weather passes. It just moves, like all weather is always changing. So, how can Vedic astrology help? As Westerners, we are so conditioned to take action in the face of suffering that we're missing out on the power of stillness. And this came up in the second video when we're looking at the quote from Eckhart Tolle that when we become quiet and truly still to our experience, we tap into a power that is beyond even the human mind. And in the West, by our paradigms around life coaching, we become so personally empowered that we're actually missing out on these sources of power that are beyond our own willpower. Because there's a lot of grace that we can have access to when we're in harmony with what's going on in our chart. So where can we look for suffering in a birth chart? And why would we even do that? Well, really, we would do that because we perhaps have habits of running away from our suffering that we're not even conscious of, that those sensations that it creates in us, the various constellations in the chart, the sensations that they somatically produce in our system, we're so conditioned to running away from that we don't even know that we're always running. And remember, that other quote in the second video was around that fear is actually the sensation we get when we're getting close to the truth, when we're heading in the direction of truth. So we can accidentally have conditioned ourselves to run away so much from what we consider to be pain or discomfort or fear that sometimes we need the chart to help us learn where to begin being still. So one of the obvious places to look in every chart, if we want to get in touch with perhaps where we are feeling suffering, perhaps might be K2. Because K2, which is a node, it's an eclipse point, it's the south node, and it is pointing to the areas where we will feel dissatisfied and disappointed. These are areas in the chart that will not be fulfilled as a way to help us orientate to those places we need to go exploring. So we need to feel some dissatisfaction in order to orientate ourselves towards where we're going. So why not look there for that gaping hole of agony, that unsatisfied need? Let's go have a look where that is in the chart as a way to tap into our ability to be at peace with the energies in our chart. So we'll have a look at K2. what about another area to look at might be annihilated houses. So some houses gain a lot of support because of the planetary placements, and some houses are very challenged because of planetary placements. So we're going to have a look at exactly how those are all worked out. Another place you might like to look is debilitated planets. Do you have in the chart any planets that are naturally in the place in the sky where they feel the most vulnerable and the least proficient? And can you feel that agony of that placement? Another place to look is Lajatatiya Vashtas, which you guys who follow me regularly will know. I've already done several videos on these, so we won't be going into the depths of some of the previous videos, but pointing out some combinations that might be causing pain and suffering. And then we will look at where Saturn is placed in the chart, because Saturn is all of the lack and all of the constriction. So that can tend to feel uncomfortable. So let's go have a look at that. And then I've put in here a couple of others that are much lesser sources of suffering, but you still might want to have a look at them in your chart if you want to understand where things are not working the way that you might want them to, and therefore where you feel some discomfort. And in Shadbala, I think there's a few of the balas that can lead to discomfort. I think low chesta bala, which is low confidence, low dig bala, actually maybe should have said that one first, not being able to hear the planet, and depending on the planet, low or high kala bala. So we'll have a look at some of the strengths that may be causing pain in the chart. And then malefics in general would be another place to look at because of two things. Malefics give out their kashta, which is that when they are unhappy, they make sure everyone around them feels that. So we can look at the Ishtar and kashta of the malefics in your chart. And of course, the other thing is just fundamentally the malefics tend to say no or tend to challenge us to achieve greatness rather than supporting us to achieve greatness. And that can feel uncomfortable. So can be a source of suffering. So here's an introduction to what we're going to be covering in our search for the invitation to be at peace with the agony in our chart. What do you think of these when you look at your own chart? Do you see these things showing up, and do you begin to get some aha moments of, oh yeah, that's right, that is what's going on? I'll be really interested to hear whether this is your shortlist as well of looking for suffering in the birth chart. And I'll look forward to seeing you next time when we will begin going into K2 and having a look at how to breathe and comprehend your K2 placement. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you then. And until then, stay well.